Hello guys, Red Dusk just got updated and with it came content for the United Kingdom. This update is coming in two parts. The first part had full content for the UK and half the content for Czechoslovakia. My guess is that the second half is going to have full content for the US and then the other half for Czechoslovakia. The update is called Across the Atlantic, and I know they ran into some problems when they made it, like half the team left working on America. But the full content for the UK is out. The United Kingdom is the country we're going to be playing, and I'm going into this completely blind. No spoilers or anything, I'm just going to play and do whatever I think is good. Now, going into this game, I had no idea what the paths were going to be. All I knew is that we were led by the Labour government, Tony Blair. Brexit hasn't happened yet, so we're still in the EU. We have a peace agreement called the Good Friday Agreement with the Republic of Ireland. We are currently in the process of demilitarization, and have a US-EU split where we don't know who to align with, whether we should lean more towards America or to the EU. Alright, we also have a few more things here. Government policies, I think they've changed a bit. Minority outlooks, and then we've got another one which is religion. Now those are things we can't change with the political power. I think they just change depending on our government. And then we have to look at the decisions tab. NATO. It's nothing different, it's just the same ones we've seen before, but I also noticed that Northern Ireland isn't annexed. It's actually our puppet. I reckon we should build some civs to start. Probably not in areas that could be broken away. I don't know if Wales and Scotland are going to try and break away, but there's always a possibility. After constructing, I then had to sort out my entire production line, which was a pain in the arm. After that, I then noticed all these on-map decisions that gave us 2 military factories, but I wasn't sure if they gave it to us or the country we're investing in. So I just left it alone. I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave it for now. Okay, so what do we got now? Obviously, the focus tree will change as we go down different paths. We've already selected New Labour, New Britain. Okay, so we got North and South England divide, and then reverse deindustrialization, a service economy. Okay, so it's like economy tree, and this is the armed forces tree, and diplomacy with Russia. Now, of course, France has to come and annoy us immediately as I start the game. They want us to help them in Algeria, and they were passive aggressive with it too. They were like, if you love spreading democracy so much, why don't you help us? I think we should help in Algeria. Yeah, let's help in Algeria. Despite France being assholes about it, I think that's just the way they are, I went and helped them anyway. The Irish Republican Army New Year Statement. That is a lot of reading. But they give, okay, they're resisting a bit more. That will be a common occurrence throughout this whole game, however, nothing will happen, alright? They will just kind of get angry, give me a bunch of events, and that's it. Oh, what is this? Unitary government and devolved government. This balance of power mechanic determines whether we are united as one country or a different federation of countries. The federation side is a lot better than the unitary side, which is surprising. Okay, let's start intervening in other wars. Now, normally this doesn't go too well for me, and I couldn't really find what countries I wanted to intervene in until I looked in my focus tree. We have a focus that gives equipment to the Republic of Sierra Leone and the rebels in Liberia. So naturally, I supported the sides that would get the equipment. Back the Sierra Leone government. How am I going to... I can send one volunteer. Who are these guys backed by? Iran. What even are they? Islamic Salvation Army, right. Oh dear, we're encouraging terrorist attacks with this one. Mayor of London elected. Okay, we have a decision here. Now this is actually a pretty important decision and affects the future of the game. Without spoiling it, these guys can become the leader. I guess we'll go Social Democracy, the same party that just got voted in. Raise the red flag once more. There we go. Constantine is the next one. Oh, yeah, we did it. Algerian government survives. Comes inspected. There's a lot of issues in Ireland, jeez. Consumer goods factories factor 25%, but this gives so many more bonuses. So I'm gonna do this one. I think this is a new building. Social infrastructure. It just gives a bunch of random bonuses. Like, what are we building there? Library? Look at this. We're just going down our doctrine so easily because of all the NATO decisions. Liberian rebels, that's who we're backing. How many? I can send one. Now we're beginning to get to the decision on what we should do with the EU. Our current president wants to strengthen ties with the EU, but if he goes too far, this could upset the population. Maybe enough to sway the elections next year. And this decision comes in the form of what we should do about the euro, and will actively participate in its implementation in place of the pound sterling. This will not be good for your popularity. Right, embrace the euro. Let's see what kind of devastation we can conjure by adopting the euro in Britain. Is this the most dangerous man in Britain? Yep, that's what they're saying about Tony Blair now in newspapers, because he just adopted the euro. His popularity is crashing, and that is just in time for the 2001 general election. I got decisions to invest in cities outside of London, which increased our federation on the balance of power. Our popularity fell even further when we restored relations with South Africa, the apartheid state. Let's do it. Contact me at Cape Town. Let's see if we can do that. South Africa agrees. Another Dominion comes back. Alright, so they get all these bonuses. Civilian factory, yada yada. Trimble quits. Who's that? I don't even know who he is, but it gave us the option to directly rule Northern Ireland from London, so I did. We can do direct rule from London. That will have drastic consequences. This will have bad consequences, but hey, We're here to see these bad consequences, aren't we? The United Kingdom annexes Northern Ireland. Now, what could these drastic consequences be? An invasion of Ireland? That's not bad. New Irish Republican Army announce armed struggle. Remove the Good Friday Agreement. Okay, now there's going to be resistance in... No, that's a lot of resistance. I ended up sending some divisions over just in case they did attack, I would be ready. And so we wait, crossing our fingers and praying that what we did was enough to secure us and the new Labour another term to run. Anyway, the 2001 general election was here, and no, we definitely had not done enough to stay in power. And the moment finally arrives. The declaration that will conclude the 2001 general elections is finally revealed and read out aloud. It's a non-majority deadlock? So no one won a majority, but Tony Blair stepped down, meaning that guy that we elected to be the mayor of London before, remember when I said it was important, he took his place. Okay, Ken Livingstone secures Labour leadership. Politics will change, Labour Party radicals will become the ruling party. Not communist, but socialist. We're getting there. So now we go down this, reverse deindustrialization. But then the Conservatives and Liberals entered a coalition, and they could form a majority, but it was a really sketchy coalition. They don't agree on much. And so, wanting to avoid the communist allegations, I let it happen. The talk went off and we can stay socialist. Alright, I'm beating my socialist allegations right here. An agreement has been reached. And I finished my land doctrine. Beautiful. Alright, service economy. Our boys shall come to the rescue. We can send volunteers to South Africa. Alright, let's go. Of course, I backed the government because they rejoined the Commonwealth, and it was an easy start. Donald Trump is in charge of America? Can you imagine? Oh my days. 9/11 when Donald Trump is in charge of the country. What is gonna happen? Of course, he's invoking Article 5, but I just kind of ignore it. I'm not really bothered to go intervene in Afghanistan. Oh, the new focus tree for the election has turned up. Conservative, Liberal, Democrat coalition. So now we have a dysfunctional government that doesn't really agree with each other. We got the Conservatives and the Liberals, much like the coalition in Australia, which literally just broke up the day of recording. I know a lot of you guys aren't Australian, but it's a big deal. The coalition was a thing for like 80 years, and now they're not. Anyway, that's enough about Australian politics. The South African war just got infinitely harder because the rest of the countries declared war on them. End of the South African Civil War. Civilian factory, military factory, yes. I don't know how we won that, to be honest. Anyway, I continued down my economy tree, my army tree, whatever trees I had left. As you wish, our coalition partners won't enjoy this, of course. Yeah, they'll have to suck it up. Reduce reliance on the EU. So now the EU, we're backing out of that, but we're committing to NATO. By the way, I'm still waiting for those disastrous consequences to happen in Ireland. If it's just them destroying stuff, then that's pretty disappointing. Anyway, our focus tree was leading us down to the path of Brexit, and Brexit means Brexit, apparently, according to this article. Alright, we're actually leaving the EU. Britain leaves the EU. I'm not going to read out all those bonuses. There's a lot of them, and you can read them for yourself, but that's a lot. The next year is approaching, and the coalition is going to begin to break down. Alright, Britain leaves the European Union. Now, leaving the EU doesn't exactly do anything. It's like, yeah, we leave the EU, but we're still in NATO. It just removes, like, the economic modifier. Anyway, with the coalition, we can lean towards the conservative or liberal side. We're gonna go conservative and see if the coalition falls apart. The conservative agenda. Turns out they just want to do normal conservative stuff, like stop immigration, be tough on crime, and have more independent foreign policy. We also gotta go diplomacy of the bear. I might start this tree for a bit. Oh, finally, we can get an advisor. This guy, British ambassador to the Soviet Union. United against communism. So we go there, just tell them to piss off. Is that what's happening? We just go there. It'll open up relations with you. How's it going? Piss off. Alright, reinforce border security. Oh, this tree will also bring it back to national unity government. Okay. The balance of power will slowly go towards unitary government. Well, that's what's supposed to happen, I think. Turns out that is not what is going to happen. For some reason, it keeps drifting over to federation until, like, full federationism, which doesn't even break apart the Britain. It just, like, I don't know, just gives those bonuses. I think I've exhausted this tree. I just don't want to do that. Who does the army tree? It's so boring. Boost state pension. This is truly thrilling content. Removing business regulations. Ooh. Anyway, India and Pakistan went to war and I decided to back Pakistan, which was the right choice because they absolutely destroyed India, especially when they had their communist uprising. I know I really shouldn't be intervening in this conflict considering we're the ones who caused. No way, we're actually going to meet the communist government. Soviets propose a trade agreement. Seeking to expand trade globally. They've approached us seeking to implement a trade agreement. Well, what's this red outline then? No, don't tell me Pakistan and now have claimed this. America's airstrip. God, that's even worse than being called America's 51st state. Oh, I can change some laws. Civilian economy to early mode. Yes. 2005 general election. I completely forgot that you have an election every like 4 or 5 years in the UK. Yeah, the Conservatives win again, so no surprise there. However, the Liberal guy is not happy. He's essentially been ousted for politics and just let the Conservative government just run the country. We've also got 2 United Arab Republics, one led by Egypt, of just a picture, and the other led by Bashar. Now I'm spending so many factories. I'm still consuming 18,000 units of fuel a day. My Navy, Army, or Air Force is not doing anything. I should not be consuming any fuel, yet I'm consuming 18,000 a day. That's not even possible within my limitations. New strategic defense review. We'll dominate the land or rule the waves. We kind of do rule. We do have to rule the waves. We do have to. All right. Okay, wow. I think Bashar came out on top. There's still 2 United Arab Republic. Eternal President of the Republic is Kim Il-sung. You know, I watched this movie the other night. It was called Under the Sun. It's free on YouTube. It's like a documentary about North Korea. I think a couple of Russians in 2015, when like tensions weren't high, they were able to go into the country and like film, but the agents in North Korea deleted a bunch of the footage, but instead they made 2 copies. And so like they smuggled the copy that didn't have any deleted footage out of the country. Half the documentary is like the agents telling the people how to act, what to do, and what to say. It's actually crazy. I recommend watching it. It's like free on YouTube. It's just called Under the Sun. Anyway, the continuation war in Korea began, and these 3D units are getting out of hand. Look at this. Global economic crash. Oh, there it is. All right, I can lay off the oil trade. And lose everything I just bought. I will lose in 84 days. I have 411,000 units of oil. Oh no, our oil trade had to be modified because I have no civilian factories. We're losing all of our oil in 3 years. Okay. Look, I don't know what's using 18,000 units of oil, guys. It's actually outrageous. I had to queue a bunch of synthetic refineries, but because there's a global economy crash, I got no civs. Is there like an oil crisis or something that's making me just use it at a crazy amount? The end of the great... Yes. Yes, look at this. 1 civ, 1 mil. Yeah, our side won the Great Asian War, so we got even more bonuses. Now this is when I started to get a little bit disappointed. Nothing has happened really, I'm not gonna lie. I know this is only one of the paths, but nothing has happened, and unfortunately in my game, the Soviet Union has also done nothing. This is why I look at the path guides, and I can never film a video when I don't know what's gonna happen, because then I just end up doing a path where nothing happens. Apart from going socialist, I haven't really seen any opportunities to do any other interesting paths. As far as I'm concerned, I think it's just playing as Labour again with Tony Blair for a second term, or playing as the Liberals instead of the Conservatives in the coalition. But I haven't played enough games to be 100% sure that's the case, so anyway, I'm going to force a war between the Soviet Union and NATO. It's already over here. There must have been some drift. I can't stop this. It also just infinitely drifted to the right side of the balance of power, and I don't know what I was clicking. It just did it anyway. I think a lot of my focuses brought it over to the left, and it went further right every time. I don't know what. Alright, I'm going to add some artillery to this division here because it probably needs to fix the housing problem. Alright, that's the last focus I think I can do. Oh god, look at all that. All the building slots. That's going to be a lot of housing. No. Military factories. South Africa's still fighting? Yeah, can't help you on this one. You tried invading the rest of the bloody continent, so yeah, nah. I actually do want to come back and do a socialist Britain playthrough. You guys are like, oh, he's never beating the communists. Bro, there's literally no other good paths apart from communist paths. It's not my fault, okay? I swear to... Is this what you want to see? Me playing conservative Britain and nothing happens? Or rather, go socialist? That's what I thought, yeah. So, no, maybe you guys are the communists. Maybe you were the communists all along. I'm definitely gonna like go through what the path, like go through the path guides and see what the other paths could have been after this playthrough. I looked at the path guides actually, and there's nothing there. It's empty. So the only way to see is by going through custom game rules, but that only gives you a general idea. So as far as I'm concerned, you can go socialist, liberal, conservative, or Labour with Tony Blair. Also, Poland and Czechoslovakia joined the Soviet faction. I mean, I can understand Czechoslovakia, they just got updated and probably went socialist, but Poland? Well, it looks like it's going to be even harder for me then. Okay, that's not good. Why am I still sending infantry equipment to Poland? Oh yeah, by the way, I'm getting an event like every few months where I have to send equipment to Poland to like stop Soviet expansion. But now they're on the other side, all that equipment is going to be used against us, and I'm still getting notifications to do it despite them on the other side. Alright, we got the best Marines possible, because we are Britain, so that's good. No, I'm not sending... So now we just lose 50 political power indefinitely because I'm not sending any equipment to Poland. I've got 5 carriers in one thing. I need some actual cruisers. This is when I began to realize that the Soviet Union weren't going to do anything. I was looking through their focus tree and yeah, there's no option to declare war. I'm gonna start those resolutions, I guess. I don't know what to do. Yeah, resolution pass, cool. And you know what happened? Nothing. You know who'd be loving this video? This guy right here. I can't even get the Soviet Union in this mod, which always invades the West, to invade the West when I'm playing a country in the West. Can you believe it? Alright, we'll have to use console commands again, because what else am I supposed to do? Okay, it's 2010, the Soviets have not done anything, my path isn't going anywhere further until the Soviets, well, until we're at war with the Soviet Union, and they've remained peaceful, so I'm gonna have to just manually declare war. It is what it is. I opened up that console command and declared war on the USSR. Yes, the day we feared. Darkest hour. We get a bunch of bonuses for our stuff though. Now the front line is really, really small. Yugoslavia isn't in the war, so it's literally just the border against Poland and Czechoslovakia. Now, I hypothesize that front is going nowhere for a very long time, so instead of actually trying to push through it, I'd set up a naval invasion. You know, I do what Britain does best. They've actually just nuked Moscow. America... Joe Biden! What? No! Dark Brandon, what are you doing, man? The American Caligula has leaked from TFR into this mod now, and he's just nuking the USSR or whatever. Anyway, thanks to my glorious Marines, my invasion landed, and I was able to push quite far into northern Poland. I somehow managed to recreate the Polish corridor, except even longer this time. So what is this strip of land that is... Oh, we've taken Prague. This is doing something. 2.3 million. I've only taken 78k, and I've taken such a big risk. Neither Austria or Hungary were in the war, so if I could try and push to the border from the north, I would encircle a lot of divisions. Oh! What am I even looking at here? An encirclement, that's what I'm looking at. When the encircle is so big you can't even destroy it straight away, that's when you know you've cooked. Since Poland's capitulation, a lot of units got encircled and the Americans started invading from the north. But then this bug happened where Czechoslovakia would capitulate, peace out, but then still be in the Soviet faction and then rejoin the war uncapitulated. Is that done now? Nope, they're still part of the... Okay, that's broken. Problem solved. Nice, what are they at now? Almost 8 million casualties. What? They won? Wait, what? What is going on with South Africa? How did they come back from that? You saw how bad they were doing. Why does this Germany look kind of familiar? At this point, the Soviet front was falling apart, and I could just pull off encirclements after encirclements. At this point, I'm pretty sure we could just press the go button and we'd be fine, so that's exactly what I did. Unfortunately, just before the Soviets were about to capitulate, the game crashed, which is fine, so I reloaded the game and tried to capitulate them again. Unfortunately, it kept crashing. There was nothing I could do about it. Except for one thing. I tried to use the TP command to go to all their victory points, so I'd just capitulate the Soviet Union, because it was pretty obvious that I was going to win. It just crashed. I didn't even... Moscow... Oh, yeah, it just crashes. I'm not going to be able to capitulate the Soviets. Well, that's disappointing. 2 games that have crashed in a row for me. Maybe I need to, like, schedule maintenance on my laptop. It's getting old, maybe. But half the time it crashed, the game was paused. So, I don't know. I'm sure there is a better path I could have done, and I will return, because I'm sure that there is. Once the path guides come out, I can actually see what I'm doing. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.